about 1,000 times a year.
I don't know, but they never accuse us of not getting our 8 glasses of water a day. See, it doesn't increase the money per spill hardly at all. And the fact that it even shrinks and collapses over it even makes it better. Okay, no peat. Drink the whole glass.
See all that help we get.
You gotta have your minerals today.
Now he's got a drink.
Good, looks good from here. Let's get enough to drink. Got a shot of scotch in that. Got a shot of scotch in that. And you shouldn't have to do that when you're really
Oh, well.
That's what the,
He's made it
Off
one
the Sorb.
solid from the top
Yeah,
down.
it'll turn around and make it all into a
It'll go
solid.
either way.
It doesn't work with like body fluids
You
or
didn't drink it?
Huh? Look at
anything
it.
that would be
From the top down.
water-based.
But he didn't drink it?
Who, Steve? Oh, are you kidding me? He doesn't want his face.
That's kind of like the last thing we go to when we finish up our demos and really catches people's attention.
That is, I've had them do that. They're working from the bottom up and the top down. Because what happens is it starts reacting before it has a chance to get all the way through the water.
Larry did a demo in a grocery store one time. A little girl throws up. We sprinkle this on there. The smell goes away instantly because there's no liquid to produce the vapors. And then you have this wonderful opportunity then to just scrape it up with a dustpan and flip it in the trash and you're out of there. So that's what this particular product does. It turns around and solidifies it. And then it should give us the opportunity to
Oh, you got what?
now all your spills are rendered harmless. That's that new stuff. Doesn't turn white.
Huh?
That's that newer stuff that we've got. Doesn't turn white.
Didn't put hardly any in there.
You just thought it would solidify.
We got a good shot of that. There's POL Sorb. It's so good, it's falling to the ground. It's so good.
I still got this paint over here.
You're not gonna change it.
Okay, it's too windy to go out there.
I haven't seen it that windy around here forever.
Steve Snyder, STEVESNYDER, Vice President of ARK Enterprise. Well, he's just,
I think you.
you want to do that again?
No. Guess that's just, okay, anytime, go ahead.
Should he look at me?
Yeah, go ahead, look at her. Yeah.
I understand you lost a bet to this morning to your wife. Where are you gonna take her to dinner? Okay. Why do you think that a natural remedy to clean up spills is better than a chemical agent?
Natural remedies are much better than chemical agents for the simple fact that they're far easier assimilated or better for the environment. When we introduce a chemical agent into the environment, we actually could present more problems for future generations. We really don't get the environmental benefit that a natural agent can give us.
How does your peat moss work?
Peat moss works in the fact that it takes oil into its cellular structure. It actually does wick or draw it into itself, and then it begins to shrink around it, encapsulating the oil inside of it. Once it begins to do that, a product called humic acid starts interacting with the oil, weakening the hydrocarbon chains. As these hydrocarbon chains weaken, then they're broken down and released as water and CO2.
So why is this product different from regular peat moss we use in our garden?
This peat moss is different than any other type of peat moss product because this particular species is only found in Canada, this blonde sphagnum moss. And as it's dried and augured, it only comes from the top part of the bog, and so it becomes activated to pick up oil. Whereas your garden variety peat moss or your horticultural brands generally become far dustier, aren't as well as far as an absorbent product, and can't do the job as efficiently as this particular brand of peat moss.
Let me have you give me that answer a second time.
More succinctly,
Yeah, a little bit, and what was the question again?
Why is this peat moss different than the peat moss we put on our gardens?
this peat moss is different than the garden variety of peat moss in that this particular species is only found in Canada. It's a blonde sphagnum moss. It only comes from the very top portion of the bog. This particular area of the bog is a highly effective oil absorbent, whereas your garden variety or horticultural peat mosses aren't a very effective oil absorbent.
Why aren't they as effective?
They're dustier. They also cannot absorb as well as this particular brand because as they dry, they're not as large a capillary, so they can't do as good a job as this particular variety of peat moss or at this particular part of the bog.
See, I want him to say that we dry it and auger it and activate it. That's where that's what I think you should say there.
Well, he'll allow me to answer it again if you want to put that in there.
Why is it different? Okay, wait a minute. So why is it a better absorbent than regular peat moss we use in our gardens?
The peat moss that's been dried and augured, it comes from this part of the bog that is a far better absorbent because it doesn't dry as small in capillary size. When it doesn't dry as small in capillary size, it allows for a better absorption ratio than the garden variety. It also isn't as dusty. It has a better humic acid ratio so that it can break the hydrocarbons down at a better rate.
Okay.
Where do you get your peat moss from and how do you make it so it's now an absorbent?
The peat moss that we use comes from Canada. That's the best variety or species of peat moss as an oil absorbent. The reason that it becomes a highly effective oil absorbent is the drying process itself. When it's dried and augured in a very special way, we actually enhance the capillary structure so that it can absorb more oil into itself and break it down better. If you dry it the wrong way, it shrinks those fibers, the capillaries are smaller, you don't get the efficiency, or you don't get the process of breaking the hydrocarbons down as well.
Let me interject here.
But we can get into that.
Okay, go ahead.
How does peat moss compare to people who are using clay products to clean up oil spills?
Peat moss, when it is compared to other kinds of absorbent materials, as a natural remedy is far superior. There are several reasons why. The first is the fact that peat moss doesn't harm or do any further damage to the environment. That's really a benefit in the fact that we're enhancing the process called natural attenuation, where things are broken down naturally. It has in it enzymes and natural microbial activity that enhances the breakdown process. A lot of other products don't have that. In fact, in their manufacturing process, they actually can be created in such a way where they do more harm to the environment than actual good in picking up the oil.
Well, so why is peat moss more efficient than other absorbent products?
Many other absorbent products aren't as efficient as peat moss because they're not true absorbents. They actually cause products to stick to them because of surface tension. And they're adsorbents in the fact that things stick to their outer surface, but they're not pulled inside